Dear viewers, now I have a huge pleasure to take you on a little journey back to the past. I am excited to speak to Dave, the developer responsible for the game called The Drifter, which is a homage to good old point-and-click adventure games. Hi Dave, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I remember when someone showed me the trailer of The Drifter and I was like, okay, this is some kind of game for early 90s, I never heard about The Drifter. And they were like, no, this is the modern title. And I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, it looks so good. But I need to ask you about one thing. Mostly when we think about old adventure games, we think about titles like Secret of the Monkey Island and generally all those comedy-style games, but The Drifter is a serious game, it's a thriller. So I'm curious, why did you decide to go in this direction in terms of art style, mechanics, and how you use them to build the tension and tell your story?
I made my first point-and-click adventure about 20 years ago, and that was, they were always kind of comedy things. I've been doing it for a while. But we had a little game jam we did, Adventure Jam, which was like, we had 2 weeks to make a game, to make a point-and-click adventure, and we thought we'd try something different because, 2 weeks is a nice little opportunity. We loved horror and thriller stuff, so we thought we'd try that. So we made this little game inspired by John Carpenter's The Thing, and called Feardemic. The reception we got was really awesome. Like, I'm used to with the comedy games, like you might see players you might get a little chuckle out of them, but like watching players play a kind of horror thriller thing, you see them like really get into the story, and they were writing like fan theories about how this mystery kind of getting worked and stuff like that, and so that was super exciting. That made me want to definitely make another game like that, which is why I started working on The Drifter. Traditionally, the point-and-click kind of games, you think of them as being kind of slow-paced, you can wander around and sort of slowly solve puzzles, that kind of thing. But there was sort of one scene in this jam game we did where the character would suddenly like find themselves like strangling, like hung up by the neck from the ceiling. And when we watched players play that bit, they were all like panicking, like they like had to quickly act and stuff, like it was, an action game. And so that really kind of made me realize that you can kind of do that sort of thing if you get all the music pumping and the art and the situation just right, and the kind of have the characters' dialogue be really all pushing that tension. And so that was something that really excited us as well. So kind of became a core pillar of The Drifter, was like making it a fast-paced take on a point-and-click. So The Drifter is a pulp adventure thriller. It's going to be coming to Steam and hopefully console as well. Inspired by stuff like Stephen King and the music with John Carpenter, the sort of tech thrillers of Michael Crichton. It's also got a bit of Ozploitation, so kind of Mad Max vibes in there as well. You play as Mick Carter, who's a drifter. You've kind of jumped in a boxcar on your way back home when you witness a violent murder, and you're pursued by armed men and thrown in a reservoir and drowned. And that's really just the start. You find yourself sort of alive again seconds before your death, and you're drawn into this sort of mad web of shadowy conspiracies and things, and you're hearing about homeless people who've been going missing, and then when they've returned, they've been gone crazy. And you get this sense that when you've gone back in time, you've sort of brought something back from the other side with you. And so it's a lot of mystery solving and like jumping from the frying pan into the fire situations.